Major Mohd Shah, defense expert, also continues to be with us. Major Shah, clearly also what is slowing down now efforts by Ukraine is the fact that they are claiming that there are delays in the deliveries of weapons, ammunition and other, jets, etc. promised to them by the West.
See, West is only adding fuel to the fire. They claim that they are helping Ukraine, but I don't see that as a help at all. In fact, you are only encouraging the war further. And of course, I mean, why not? They are getting good arms business firstly, and then they are weakening Russia at the same time. They are using Ukraine free of cost. None of their soldiers are on the ground, no boots on the ground. Nobody is actually being harmed from their end personally. They are winning a war without fighting. In fact, so of course, the Western powers, the NATO nations, especially US, is on a winning hand over there. And the Ukraine is the breadbasket of Europe, and its land is changing hands. That's something which, very interestingly, that I read this morning. This was reported, and I will tell you about this. The Ukraine might not look like a good financial investment after more than a year of war, but there is no end in sight. But Harvard, Saudi Arabia, a handful of oligarchs, and the United States investment manager, the Vanguard Group, see it differently. So the very fact that people are taking advantage of the fact that this war is going on, there's no stopping over here, there's no... So there are few of the investors who have begun to buying up Ukrainian land and its rich fertile soil en masse, while many Ukrainian farmers argue it should stay in Ukrainian hands. So that's to the extent that it's actually going to over there. So it is not just about people killing people over there. There's much more. And the very fact is, when you mentioned rightly about America giving arms to Ukraine and other Western powers, why only America? There are so many nations. Australia recently promised support they would be giving. Then there's Germany. Then there is UK. Then there are a whole lot of people who are a whole lot of countries, a whole lot of presidents who have, the head of states who have assured support for Ukraine. Empathize with them, sympathize with them, and offer a hand where you can come and mediate attention. I mean, recently our Prime Minister spoke to Russian President Vladimir Putin. In fact, he said it's not the time for war. And in fact, they should patch up. They should actually, because war is not the solution. It only takes the economy decades and decades behind, and so many people die. There's loss of mankind, there's loss of humanity, there's loss of, and it only makes the poison, the hatred between the two countries furthermore. So there's the very fact that when people supply arms, it's like two people having a fight and the other person gives them a knife and a stick and a danda and a pistol. Go ahead and encouraging him, go ahead, isko maro jaake, go and hit him. So it is a big problem there, and it's a big problem for the world that the world is facing. It's about time. It's really about time. They should come together and they should become friends. If France and Germany, despite being the bitter enemy that they were, if they could become friends and they had a friendly football match on the eve of the Christmas, before the World War started, in fact, so the next morning they were back to fighting at each other. So the very fact is, if America and Canada can coexist so well over there, Joe Biden doesn't to those government. I mean, I see no reason, why Russia, Ukraine cannot become friends again. It's a world. If the international community unites together and decide to get them back together instead of supplying arms, make love, not war, Uday.
Let's leave it at that. Major Shah and Sanjeev, thank you both for joining us with your perspectives on that story.